I'm reading from the Radharasa Sudhanidhi, I think 18th verse. This particular verse is describing the seven oceans of Radharani. As there's 7 oceans in this universe, ocean of liquor, an ocean of milk, sweet rice, salt water as we have it, sugarcane juice. There's 7 oceans within Radharani's form. Her qualities represent 7 oceans. Vaidagdya Sindur, Anuraga Rasaika Sindur, Vatsalya Sindur, Sandra Kripaika Sindhu, Lavanya Sindur, Rupa Sindhu, and Kali Sindhu. So this is the ocean of clever expertise. Single-minded, extraordinary love, one ocean. Ocean of motherly affection is Radharani. Because in Madhurya, conjugal love, all the other loving sentiments and expressions are also contained there. The primary expression of motherly love expresses itself in two forms. One is concern for nourishment, feeding my child. And the other is protecting my child. And protecting my child includes chastising my child. I have to protect him from growing up wrong. He misbehaves, then I give him a slap. The chastisement, protection, and nourishment. These are the characteristics of Vatsalya, motherly love. So now the gopis are in Madhurya, but all the 4 rasas are contained in Madhurya. This is like if you have just like they say in earth all the 5 experiences there. Earth has taste, has fragrance, form, sound, etc. So similarly, this Madhurya has all the 5. So Radharani is also interested in nourishing Krishna, feeding him. She cooks every morning and every afternoon she cooks for Krishna. And the evening she also cooks. So 3 times a day Radharani cooks for Krishna and sends him food or brings it with her in the evening. Sakis carry some sweets that she makes in the afternoon. In the morning she's cooking, and the afternoon she's cooking, in the early afternoon. In the evening she takes out something with her. So she's involved with nourishment. And sometimes Radharani chastises Krishna like anything. Some heavy language. You dhurt, you lumpat, you kapat, you lumpat, you lumpat, you kapat, you dhurt, you cheater, you liar, you playboy, you're unfaithful. That's chastisement. And then that's chastisement and then protection. Sometimes Krishna is attacked by a terrible enemy, a tremendous enemy, and Krishna is about to die. And he sends a messenger like Squall or some parrot. He says, quickly tell Radharani, I'm being attacked on all sides by a terrible enemy, 1,000 times worse than Kaliya, 10,000 times worse than Aghasura. And I don't think I can hold out for another minute. Radharani must come to my aid. This enemy is so, all sides I'm being attacked. Who is that enemy? Kandarpa, Kamadev. Kamadev means the god of love, the god of lust. So Krishna is saying, Kandarpa Raj, with all his soldiers is attacking you with his arrows, 5 arrows of Rupam, Gandha, Sparsha, taste, sound, touch. He's attacking all of my senses. Oh, Radhe, save me, Gaur Bachao, save me. So then Radharani says, yes, I will go to the rescue. So Radharani gets all her armor. She has a bow. She has 2 bows. What are her 2 bows? Her eyebrows are 2 bows. This eyebrow. 2 bows. What are her arrows? Her eye, her glances. She has swords. What are her swords? She has 10 swords. 10 fingernails, 10 toenails, 10 swords. More than Durga. Durga only has 1 sword. Durga has 1 sword. Maybe Radharani has 10 swords and 10 daggers. and so many other weapons. So she comes, Krishna, I'm coming to the rescue. Don't worry. Don't give up your life. So Radharani comes to Krishna's rescue and saves him when he's in a perilous moment of destruction, defeat. So therefore Radharani protects Krishna, yes? Mother Yashoda protects Krishna. She chants mantras, and she chants Nrsimha mantras on different parts of his body and sends him out with cow herding. Sometimes ties something around his elbow. What do you call that? Tabij. Amulet. Some little thing, canister type thing with some, what do you call it? Mantra. The Nrsimha mantra. What do you call it? Kavacha. Krishna takes shelter of Nrsimhadev, but we take shelter of Krishna. 1966, 67, 68, so many years there wasn't any Nrsimha prayers. It was just Hare Krishna prayer. You're in danger, Hare Krishna. You're in trouble, Hare Krishna. Not like, Nrsimhadev. Then they threatened the movement and they threatened Prabhupada. So the devotee said, Prabhupada, what can we do? The demons are calling up the New York temple. We're going to blow up the temple, this, that, the other thing. To do this and that with the leader. You can chant the prayer that Lord Chaitanya chanted in the Nrsimha temple. Acha, what's that prayer? It's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I will write it down on a piece of paper. Namaste Narasringhaya Pralat Aladadayane Hiranyakashipur Bhakshaha Shilatanka Nakala. Like this. And Prabhupada wrote it down. So they chanted. Why? To protect ISKCON, the temple, and Prabhupada. Not themselves. Chant Hare Krishna. But anyway, things go this way, that way. Harinam, 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 Eva, Kevalam. It's only Keval, nothing else, one thing. So this is the verse in 18, and we are reading about, we want to read each of these oceans and see what we can appreciate about Radharani's Mahima, Guna Mahima. We heard yesterday about this last phrase in the verse, Radhika Spuratu Me Vridi. That, Radharani, this is a prayer in sadhaka vesh, as a sadhaka, as a practitioner of sadhana, like we are. Prabhupada Saraswati is taking the role of a teacher. He's Tungavidya Sakhi in Nitya Lila, but in this verse he's teaching us and saying, I am not seeing this Lila. I am not seeing this wonderful pastime of your qualities, but I'm appreciating it. I'm not seeing you and interacting with Shyam, but I'm appreciating your qualities. There are so many oceanic qualities. So we heard yesterday that it seems like Radharani sometimes plays hide and seek with her devotees. She seems like she's right there, like you can touch her. She's in front of you at certain times in japa or brikama or wherever, however. And then lose that contact, lose that experience, vision, dream, whatever it may be according to the level of our advancement. Any type of positive contact with transcendence is encouraging. And of course, even if it's imaginative, even if you imagine, I imagined I contacted transcendence. That's also good, because we don't have to imagine our contact with Maya. We don't have to imagine our contact with Maya. It's very tangible. It's very real. I think everyone will agree. And that's bad. That contact is bad. So Vaidagya Sindur, which means Radharani is an ocean of clever expertise, which Radha displays in her expressions of the 64 different arts. And what did we say yesterday about the 64 arts? Dancing, singing, dyeing cloth, and doing different tricks. And if someone hides something behind their back, you can tell what they have. These are arts. What are these 64 arts? All the gopis are expert in these. But Radharani she's the most expert, Vaidagya. What are these 64 arts? What we said? There are actually 64 different expressions of Radharani. There's 64 different expressions of love. Right? 64 different expressions of Radharani's desire to love Krishna in 64 ways. So she may we'll read those arts. They're in this Gayatri book. They're listed there. And they're in one purport. If you want to find them also, you probably maybe have this book more. They're in our book here, Gayatri Mahima Madhuri. But they're also in a book called Brahma Samhita, and one purport by Sri Jiva Goswami. Sri Jiva Goswami writes a purport to a verse in Brahma Samhita that talks about the consorts are expert in all the arts. There's a verse there. So then in the purport he describes what are those arts. The arts are mentioned, kala. The word there in the Sanskrit Brahma Samhita is kala, which means arts. So we heard yesterday about Kalanidhi and Kalavati. The Krishna is in Puriam, he's Kalanidhi, he's a storehouse of so many artistic talents. But Radharani is Kalavati, she's expert. She understands and knows how to express them both best. Now we heard yesterday how Radharani is Rasa Panditya. She's a Pandit scholar in the science of loving mellows, a Rasa Pandit. And Ujjvala Nilamani, by Rupa Goswami, he quotes a conversation between Kundalata Sakhi and Gargi. Who's Gargi? Garga Rishi, Gargamuni's daughter. Who's Gargamuni? He's a priest of Vasudeva and Devaki. So they sent him from Mathura. Please go to Vrindavan and perform the Namkarana Yagya, the name-giving ceremony of my son, Devaki Nandan, Krishna. He was born there in Mathura and they came. So then Gargamuni, he came, and in front of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda and so many cowherd boys in a hidden secret place, he described the identity of this boy known as Krishna, or Yashoda Nandan. And he said, in previous ages he was green in color. In previous ages he was blackish, and he was whitish, and one age, and he was also yellow. The verse is there in 10th canto, which indicates that this boy Krishna was previously, in another kalpa he was Gauranga. He'll become Gauranga again, he'll become Ram again, and kalpa after kalpa in different universes. So that was spoken by Garga Muni. He's a Brahmin. His daughter is Gargi. So there's two Brahmins, two female Brahmins in Krishna Lila. Who are they? Gargi? Nandi Mukhi. Who's Nandi Mukhi's brother? Madhamangal. Who's Nandi Mukhi's father? Sandipani Muni. Purnamasi may be Brahmin, but I don't know particularly mention that. She's Yogamaya, and she's acting like Guru, but I don't know specifically. She may be. I can't say yes or no. So this is Nandi Mukhi. This is Gargi. She's a Brahmin. Gargi's a Brahmin, and Nandi Mukhi. Madhamangal is very funny, yes? So he's a funny boy. So what about Nandi Mukhi? She's a very funny girl. And what does that name mean? What does Nandi Mukhi mean? If anyone, the names have meaning. Madhu Mangal. Mangala means auspicious. Madhu means honey. Sweet honey. Auspicious honey. So because he makes everybody laugh, and laughter is very sweet. Isn't it? Crying, lamentation is bitterness. Laugh, ha ha ha, you feel very sweet, it's happy. It's a sweet feeling, laughter. Hasiras. So he's the king of Hasiras. Bhatu Kusama. effect for different diseases. So the name for Madhamangala is called Kusum Asafa. Kusum is a flower, and they, as you may know, it's called Madhupan. Madhupan, or Kadambari. Kadambari is wine made of kadamba flowers. Kadamba flowers. So there's flower wine. You've heard of grape wine from grapes. But they also make wine from flowers, from fruits, like grapes or pears or any kind of thing, fermented. So the kusum asafa, you take some kusum, very fragrant flowers, and mix them with water, and then they ferment, and they become alcohol. So he makes everybody drunk. Madhamangal is that person who makes everyone intoxicated and drunk. So he's called Kusum Asafa. Kusum, you understand, Kusum, flower, fragrance, Asava. Like Kusum Sarovar? Kusum Sarovar is here. Kusum means fragrant, but also means flowers. So he gets at breakfast time in Nandagram, he intoxicates all the cowherd boys. They're just laughing, their eyes are watering, just like intoxication. They can't even eat. He's telling so many jokes, he's eating yogurt, and yogurt is dripping down his face like this. Yogurt's dripping down his face and falling on his stomach. And he's just totally out of it. So this is Nani Mukhi is like that also, very funny. So this is Gargi, she's a little more sober, but she plays a key role in Krishna's Leela. This is Kundalata Sakhi and Gargi. Kundalata said, "Oh Devi, what more can I say about Srimati Radhika's expertise in all the arts? Radhika teaches all the Sakhis and Manjaris by her example how to make beautiful pictures using natural mineral pigments made of colorful minerals." So this is the Rajasthani Pejwani, or whatever, the different artists in Rajasthani art style for the last 500 years, 800 years. They're famous for producing colors from natural pigments. Copper sulfate is a chemical which is earth. It's from the earth. It's blue in color. Copper sulfate is blue, bright blue, like this lady's scarf. It's like that kind of blue, like lapis lazuli. So this is earth, and then of course sulfur. You've heard of sulfur as yellow. You must be knowing sulfur is yellow powder. It's in the earth. Then there's charcoal and all black, and so many yellow, red, this, that. So many colors of earth. So you mix them all up. Mix red earth with yellow earth, and then you get what? Orange. If you mix some like this, so they make all these different colors, and they paint Krishna's face, or they paint the Sakhi's face. So she's expert in this art, making natural pigments. So these artists would do paintings with these natural colors on the ceilings, frescoes and ceilings of different temples and mandirs, and they last for hundreds and hundreds of years. Amazing, the rich colors, natural colors. So Radharani is expert in this art. Radha's mind is beautifully decorated with expertise in the culinary art and the art of cooking. In the battle of speaking clever, witty words, Ati Sundari Radha bewilders even Krishna and even Brihaspati, the guru of the demigods. Kishori is the most learned scholar in the science of stringing flower garlands. That's very interesting. Kishori is the most learned. She's a Pushpa Mala Pandit. Pushpa Mala Pandit. Expert scholar in the science of making a garland of flowers. There's one devotee in Vrindavan, Pujari, and when this devotee is sleeping, he sees the deities and he sees flower garlands and flower ornaments, and different designs come in his dreams. And he wakes up and he draws them on paper. Then he either makes or he engages some people in helping him make, if he's busy, his creations, his dream creations. And he's not an Indian person, he's from another country, foreign person. But somehow he's connected with this art of Pushpa Mala Kala, the art of making flower garlands. If someone has something has some attribute or some quality, and you please them, they may give that to you. If someone has money, and you serve them and please them, and then you beg them, oh please, I'm poor, I need money. Okay, I'm pleased, I'm happy, here's some money, you take money. So this devotee is pujari, so he wants to please Radha Shyam in newer ways. So he's sincerely praying and serving, obviously. So then the ways are being revealed in the mind. And these are never before seen designs in all of Vrindavan, in all the different temples. So we can understand, since Radharani is a scholar pandit, she's a great pandit in the art of making flower garlands, that this art of making flower garlands and all these flower designs is being revealed to him by the pandit, by Radharani. This is the conclusion. It's very nice art of Radharani. In poetry recitals, Sukumari Radha is more expert than the parrots. In the pastime of gambling and throwing dice, the Chaturi Radha defeats even the unconquerable Ajit, Krishna. Radhika is most skillful in the art of divine amorous pastimes. Rati Kala Shalani. Rati Kala Shalani. Radhika's intelligence shines with all varieties of knowledge. Radhika's intelligence shines or manifests all varieties of knowledge. Vidya Vidyoti Buddhi Spurati. Vidya Vidyoti Buddhi Spurati. With this glorious quality, Guna Mahima of oceanic cleverness, known as Vaidakti Sindhu, Radha displays the three of her transcendental qualities, her expertise, and all duties. So we know that Radharani has 25 qualities mentioned in Nectar Devotion, and they have names. So when she's expressing this Vaidagdya Sindhu, this ocean of cleverness, that actually incorporates 1, 2, 3, 4 different qualities. One quality is expertise in all duties, patava anvita. So I refer to this list here. So one of Radharani's qualities, one of her 25 qualities is vidagda, which means cunning. Quality of being an ocean, there's many varieties in that ocean. So one is this, number 12. Another one is the 13th quality. She's expert in all duties. She knows how to dress nicely. Pavita, expert in performing her duties. These are 3 different translations. One from Jaiva Dharma, one from Teachings Lord Chaitanya, one from Chaitanya Charitamrita. That this quality, patava anvita, this is Vaidagdya, this is cleverness, means that Radharani is expert in all her duties, and she's expert at performing her duties, and then she's, as Prabhupada says in Teaching Lord Chaitanya, she knows how to dress nicely. Patava. Another quality is this, that's 3 of her transcendental qualities. I said that. Then 12 is cunning, and then 13. 2. Those are 2. Expert, and then like this. So all the 64 arts are best exhibited by Srimati Radhika in her Shringar Ras Leelas. These are her intimate exchanges of conjugal amorous love, erotic love, with Krishna in the groves of Vrindavan. Shringar Ras, Shringar. Shringar, as you know, we say Shringar Arti, 7 o'clock in the morning or so, 7:15. The deities are so perfectly and beautifully decorated with a maximum ornamentation, maximum fresh flowers and flower ornaments, and most beautiful. And then during the day, I know in some temples, like in Los Angeles where we joined, they would dress them when they took rest in the afternoon, they would change their dress. In the afternoon they would have one dress. Morning dress, afternoon, evening. Because when I was there in 75, LA was the headquarters for deity worship and so many things. So in the afternoon they were a little less, much less out, all this decoration. Then at night it was like what you see in Mangalartik. At 8 o'clock, 8:30 darshan at night. Hardly any jewelry, one pearl necklace, one garland or whatever. But in the morning, the Sringar Artik, Sringar Darshan, and they're all sweet and special. The Sringar Ras is that most decorated and adorned expression of divine love that happens with Krishna and the gopis. It doesn't happen with Narayan and Lakshmi. Madhurya Ras, but not Sringar. That full decorated expression of ornamentations and embellishments of Bhava Alankar, so many. That's why it's called Sringar Ras, Madhurya Ras. Very important distinction. So we're going to read those 64 qualities. And what I mentioned here in the notes I prepared last year, some future day in our Siddhadeya Manjari Sarup, we will learn all these arts from Srimati Radharani directly, or Lalita, or Vishaka, or our own Guru Manjari. But if that is our Sthayi Bhav, and even of course the Coward Boys know so many arts, maybe also 64 in their own expression. But the verse and the purport Jiva Goswami is mentioning about the loving consorts of Krishna, they know the 64 arts. I can't say about the Coward Boys, I have not read. So this description is there. I don't know if it'll finish all in 15 minutes, because I'm not in any rush to read these things. I'd rather take the time and read them. I didn't get a chance to mark the place. Maybe it's an index here. So this is, you can say at this juncture, it'd be a nice, if you have any mala, you can chant and meditate. That's why I said meditate. Because we can't, this isn't, as a sadhaka, we can't really sit down and meditate, okay, I'm expert in making mineral pigments. We may meditate on different services that are mentioned in Sankalpa Kalpadruma by Vishwanath Chakravartipad, or Raghunath Das Goswami, Vilap Kusumanjali, or Rupa Goswami and Utkalika Valari, or other books. But the actual performing those services, the details, when we meditate, we're offering a garland. We're being an expert in making all kinds of different garlands and flowers this way, that way. We may learn something in this plane if we're making garlands, but all the fine arts will be learned over there. In verse 26 of Brahma Samhita, it says that, the quote is, that Brahma was performing, this is the verse, cultural acts for Krishna and Goloka. Cultural acts. Culture means sadhana, abhyas, practice, culture, cultivation. What were these cultural acts? The Acharyas explain that Lord Brahma was performing Raganuga sadhana bhakti. While envisioning himself to be a maidservant, Mandri of the gopis, Lord Brahma was chanting the Gopal mantra and performing cultural acts, quote, which means the 64 arts described in the purport of the Brahma Samhita by Jiva Goswami. The 64 activities in fine arts and crafts are the following. So he is, as to modify what I said, Brahma is practicing Raganuga sadhana bhakti, and in his meditation he's meditating on these 64 arts. But the details of actually how to execute them, they must be learned there. And it's not necessary, like the gopis maybe, I think one of them is juggling. So that means we have to go to someone and learn how to juggle. If we don't learn how to juggle as a sadhaka, we won't go back to Godhead. It's not like that. The 64 arts. 1. Gita. The art of singing, composing songs and articulating different melodies, notes, accents, and meters. Vadya. Vadya. The art of playing on 4 types of musical instruments. Wind, strings, percussion, and metallic cymbals. Kartals. 3. The art of dancing. Nritya. Nritya. The art of dancing and moving the limbs and various symbolic expressions, which is English translation of mudra. Various symbolic expressions. You know mudra? Bharatanatyam, dancing, this, that. Natya, that was Nritya. That was Nritya, and this is Natya. Natya means the art of writing theatrical dramas. 5. Alekya, like lekana. Lekana means drawings. The art of drawing, calligraphy, and painting pictures. Now, as we're saying all these things, you have to think that Radharani is expert in, this calligraphy, this kind of fancy handwriting and drawing pictures. It's not only Chitra Sakhi that's a good artist. Radharani is also expert. She taught Chitra. Because when Radharani is in trembling in ecstasy, she wants to see a painting of Krishna, but she can't paint. She's like this. So then Chitra, who learned painting and art from Radharani, Chitra Sakhi, Chiksoli Gram, Mankuti and Chiksoli and Barsana. So she, then, because she's not feeling that same trembling that Radharani's feeling, at least initially, so she makes some painting of Krishna, says, look, here's Sham. Oh, Sham. And she cools down. This alekya, drawing, calligraphy, painting pictures, it includes all forms of simple village arts up to the highest perfectional stage of masterful painting. This is Radharani. So the Russian artists, they must have learned from Radharani. In some indirect way, they're very good. They're very good artists, very expert in good detail and nice. Very popular in the world today. But it's saying that even village arts, there's called Sanji. It's called Shanji. This is a type of village art which is done on the outside entrances to houses during Pitri Paksha. This is a Krishna Paksha, 2 weeks of Ashwin Maina, which is, we're in the Shukla Paksha of Ashwin. This is Ashwin, this Purnima is called Ashwin Purnima. Ashwin Maina, the month of Ashwin, and Ashwin full moon, Ashwin Purnima. And that is the full moon night of the Maharas dance. So on these 2 weeks of the Krishna Paksha, you worship the ancestors called Shrad ceremony, Pind or Shrad. So part of that is outside the house. They make all these drawings with cow dung and flower petals. Have you seen? In the neighborhood, they make little stick figures, and they make Surajmukhi and sunflowers and very simple art. And this is the style. And it's just done very quickly. And there's a pastime where Radharani was picking flowers in Kusum Sarovar for this Leela Shanji. Then Krishna came as a Mali, disguised as a Mali with a gamsha wrapped around his head, red gamsha and a gamsha. His flute hiding under his gamsha and his belt. Hey, you're picking my flowers? And there's a long story there. That took place at Kusum Sarovar. So this simple village art, Radharani's expert at that. This is called Vishesh Akachedya. Vishesh Akachedya. The art of painting the face and body with various dots and designs of colored unguents and cosmetics. We say gopi dots. You heard this term, gopi dots? So this is one specific art. So Radharani's expert at that, and so are Sakhi Manjaris. And Krishna tries his hand also to paint Radharani's body, but when he starts painting, he starts trembling and he drops the brush and makes splats. She says, you don't know how to do this. Hey, Rupa Manjari, come here, do this. He's a newcomer. He doesn't understand this. Tandula Kusama Bali Vikar. Tandula Kusama Bali Vikar. The art of preparing auspicious offerings for worship with rice and flowers. Tandula Kusam Bali Vikar. Bali means worship, kusam flower. Tandula means some type of rice or grains. It includes making paintings on the floor with liquid paste of rice flour. Outside Radharaman Mandir, there's one mandir it's one temple. The floor there is right outside the entrance on the left side or so. And that's owned by the Radharaman Mandir. And this is a village art where they make different paintings, with sand, different sand and all. Huh? It's called Rangoli. And in South India they do with little white thing here and there. Auspicious designs at the entrance of a house, on the floor, sidewalk, Rangoli. So there, in that temple, is a very elaborate Rangoli they do. Sometimes they show Giri Govardhan and Krishna lifting Govardhan and the hill. It's all there on a flat surface. It's not three-dimensional. It's all length and width, flat surface. People come in the door and just take darshan of the painting. It's beautiful, I've seen. And very colorful and all natural things. Traditional art of Braj. Radharani was also herself expert at. So on the floor of the flower mandir, in the floor of the Keli Kunja or Keli Mandir, Radharani will make these designs like that, beautiful designs, all different colors. And the Krishna walks in, oh, so beautiful, so colorful. So this is one of Radharani's kala, her artistic expressions of her unlimited ways of her love. To paint this floor like that is not an expression of art, although it's artistic, supremely artistic. It's not an expression of color. It's an expression of the artful color of her love. The artful color of Radha's love. That is what this Rangoli on the floor of the Keli Mandir is in Vrindavan, that Radharani draws for the pleasure of Krishna. So tomorrow we can continue with these qualities. And then we're at the 7th one now. There's 64. Shri Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur ki jai, Shri Radharasura Nidhi ki jai. This is Radharasura Nidhi. We're on text number 18, which is describing 7 oceans of Srimati Radharani. There are 7 oceans scattered throughout this material universe. In this one universe, we're in it, this Brahmanda, and we are familiar with this salty expanse of the ocean, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Pacific Ocean, Mediterranean Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and the etc. Baltic Sea, and so many oceans and seas are out there, and they're all full of salt water. But beyond another universe, if you don't like salty preparations, some people like salty, how many like salty? Raise your hand. Salty. It's by Prakruti. And some people like sweet preparations. Some people like both. That's all right. It's all good. Just make sure it's Mahaprasadam. Salty, Mahaprasadam. Bitter, Mahaprasad. Sweet, Mahaprasad. Mahaprasadi Govinde. Now your mouth starts watering. Nama Brahmani Vaishnave. So Radharani, she is all these oceans and more. But her oceans they're only sweet. Although they appear a little bitter, sometimes some bitter or some salty dealings or sour dealings. But these 7 oceans of Radharani, although they're all sweet, they're also intoxicating. The oceans of Radharani are intoxicating because there's one universe where this is where all the truck drivers go. Right? I said that the other day. So this one universe, that universe has an ocean of liquor. Liquor means whiskey, wine, diplomat, this, that. Mad dog, black dog. So all the truck drivers, they go there to merge into the ocean. So Radharani is also an ocean. Her oceans intoxicate Krishna. He becomes intoxicated by swimming in the ocean of Radharani's unlimited. Prabhupada Saraswati in his sadhaka roop, he's seeing Radharani from a distance as a sadhaka, approaching Radharani and praying to Radharani and hankering for the eternal service of Radharani and hankering for the darshan of Radharani. So then he's praying to her with the greatest adhar and respect. And then he said, when you step back, if you're too close to someone, you can't appreciate them. When you step back by distance, you step back by time or place. They have an expression in English. Separation makes the heart grow fonder. So if we're separated, we take our mother for granted, our father for granted, our children, our wives, husbands, but then they go away somewhere. Husband goes to China for 3 weeks, suddenly out of some business. Then maybe I hope he comes back. So I hope he doesn't run off with the Chini. So this, thus, I mean, Prabhupada. She tells riddles to please Krishna. Riddles, jokes. So we were reading those 64 arts yesterday, and we can continue today. This is number 8. Pushpa Astarana, the art of making comfortable resting places by spreading flowers on the ground. That means making an asana out of flowers. This is the real asana. These are the Braj asanas, Vrindavan asana. Not a big, big wooden thing. Sometimes in the rasa dance, then the gopis take their chunari, this veil. When they finally meet Krishna, when they were separated from him, then they're strolling hand in hand along the banks of Jamuna and Rasa Purnima, which is tonight. The 11th night is tonight. Tonight is the full moon night of the Sharad season, Ashwin Purnima. So this is the night. So everyone should read the Ras Leela, chapters 10:29 through 33 of the 10th canto. Rasa Panchadhyaya. And that took place, and takes place every night, but especially tonight, Maharas dance. So during that dance, Krishna appeared to disappear. It seemed that he was disappearing with Radharani, then he left Radharani. Then the gopis finally met Krishna again. They're walking with him hand in hand along Jamuna Pulina, near Keshigat, Nidhivan, that whole area, Vamshivat. And then they took their chunari and they put on the ground. They said, sit down. We want to talk to you. So they made an asana of their veil. This veil, the chunari, they made asana. Put it on the ground. Then Krishna sat down. One Krishna with every gopi. And one special Krishna was Radharani. Then they spoke to him. Listen, why you left us, this, that, is that any way to deal? So that's one asana. Very special asana. Their own veil, their chunari asana. This is pushpa asana, flower asana. When Krishna is eating, sometimes in Radhakund, when you see paintings of Radha and Krishna eating, then they're sitting on some jeweled asana, and they're feeding each other, some very elaborate thing. That may be also there, in a Swarna mandir, in a gold mandir. But it's not, Krishna is the personification of informality. Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, is the personification, the embodiment of informality. There's nothing formal about Krishna. The way he walks, the way he speaks, the way he dresses. Ramchandra, Vishnu, they're so formal and so maryada, niyama, niyama. The rules and regulations. But Krishna, he makes the rules, he breaks the rules. He laughs at the rules. And this is his natural nature. His nature. So in Vrindavan, there's no question of Vishnu not sitting on a raised seat. They'll sit on a raised seat above the ground to take their meals, some asana. But Krishna will sit on the Vrajaraj with flower petals designed there. And then Radharani will make the petals in such a way to convey her heart. Certain colored petals she'll use, or certain designs she'll use. It's like sign language. You know sign language? Like deaf and dumb people. They say like this and like that. This, that. We had one devotee in our temple, he was doing this type of thing. Sign language. He used to go on Sankirtan and sell Prabhupada's books, and he didn't know how to speak. He had a little card that said, I don't speak, but please, this book will speak to you. This Bhagavad Gita will speak to you. Please take it and give some donation. And people felt so sorry or whatever. He was a very big book distributor. Because he would just give this card, and people felt empathetic that he was so determined to please Prabhupada even though he couldn't speak it. He would interest him in a book like this. And then there was one, Bhagavad Gita was done with sign language it was done in San Francisco. I don't know whatever happened to it. But it's for those people that speak like this. This means A, this means B, this, that. And the most difficult thing for the person making that movie was to translate certain words from our vocabulary, like Bhagavad Gita, into sign language. He had to create new signs. This professional was hired by some devotees in Berkeley Temple. They hired this man, and we distributed that movie of Bhagavad Gita in sign language to all the schools where they have people live in places like that. So he said, "What is this yoga? How to do sign language for karma yoga, gyan yoga?" And somehow he conveyed that. So Radharani is conveying through this flower asana different feelings, different moods. So when Krishna goes to sit down, acha, she's feeling this. Dashana vasananga rag. Dashana vasananga rag. The art of coloring teeth, clothing, and bodily limbs with cosmetics like saffron. Generally, people want to make their teeth white. But in the spiritual world, they're permanently white, even without toothpaste. But just to enhance the rasa and the lila, there's apparently some art of coloring teeth. Now that's quite an art. Like sometimes people paint designs on their foreheads or this and that. So Radharani paints designs on her teeth. Or Krishna's teeth. Who can say? The clothing and bodily limbs with cosmetics like saffron. Mani bhumika karma. Mani bhumika. The activity, karma, the art of inlaying floors, courtyards, and pathways with colorful mosaics of precious jewels. Mosaics, patterns on the floor like you see in these fancy temples or rich people's houses. They bring all these Rajasthani artists and they inset all different mosaics and colored fired tile, little tiny tiles that are fired in an oven kiln, blue ones and green, and they make some designs on the floor. That's mosaic, little tiles. They make whole pictures there, Giri Govardhan, or whatever, not Giri Govardhan, but something, flowers, is that, water. So Radharani's expert in that, and setting the tiles in such a way. In fact, in Radhakund, there's an example of that here in Radhakund, Madhyan Lila, that there's pathways between the kunjas, and that this is where Radharani expresses this art of money, jewels, bhumika, earth, karma, the art or the practice, the art of inlaying floors and courtyards and pathways with colorful mosaics of precious jewels. So she uses these pathways joining the kunjas and the Radhakund. They go the kind of curvy way. This is not a Yodhya. A Yodhya, everything goes straight, like this. Straight, right, left. But in Vraj, everything is a curvy way. If you see anybody's house, there's nothing level. The door goes like this, like that. The floor goes like this, like that. Any time, because we built this house, or at least we were here watching it, whatever was happening, I said, can't you make this level? And everything is like, and I said, I bought one of those things from Delhi, it's a level. I said, we don't use that thing. There's something you use in carpentry, for leveling, there's a balance. He said, you would just make it, He's like this, like that. So these footpaths in Radhakund are curving, very like this. And they're inset with blue sapphires. Then some white moonstone. Moonstone is white. But moonstone and blue sapphires. And then, so what it looks like when you see these mosaic jeweled inlaid footpaths from kunja to kunja in Radhakund, it looks like a river, the Yamuna. And the white stones look like waves on the river. So expert Radharani is in decorating the footpaths of Radhakund. So when Krishna walks out, he's thinking I'm going to step in water like Duryodhana. Duryodhana fell in the water over there in Delhi or something. Indraprastha and Yudhishthira's palace, I believe. Yeah, Mayadanava made it. So what about Yoga Mayadanava? Or Prema Maya? Prema Mayadanava, Radharani's Prema Mayi Radha. So how much masterful she can enchant one. So Krishna says, Radharani says, come, let's go to the other kunja. Oh, there's water here. No, go step inside. Oh. So this is Now Shaya Rachana, like Shayan Rachana, the art of preparing different types of beds, complete with carpets, cushions, pillows, cloth canopies, and decorations like tassels. You've seen these brass bedposts, these brass bedposts going up like that. Then there's some silk canopy joining the bedpost above the bed. And then hanging from all sides of the canopy are these pearl tassels like this, pearls all around. So that's an art, how to make them very attractive and beautiful. And Radharani knows that. So she makes beds like that also. Udaka Vadya. Udaka Vadya. Vadya, Vad means sound. The art of making sound. Udaka means water. Vadya means sound. The art of making music by hitting the water. There's description in Govinda Lilamrita that when Radha and Krishna meet for Jal Keli, sporting in the water, sometimes they're playing like this in the water. It's all here. All these arts are shown here also, by the way. So this is, it tells you how to do it, so you can practice. All right. The cupped hands. This is cupped hand. Yes. They splash downward to produce a thumping sound of kettle drums. You ever done it? You go nowhere, boom. You go like boom, boom. Then you go flat like this. It sounds like cymbals, ta ta ta. Then boom, boom. You done? So this is, or the hand splashes sideways, back and forth to stimulate the sound of kartals. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. It's like this. You try it. Now, this doesn't end there. Sometimes this art, udaka means river, lakes, water. Sometimes this art, udak vadya, is said to be playing different pots filled with varying levels of water to produce melodious tunes. You take clay or metal pots with water at different levels, same size pot, or clay, and go ding ding, like a metal stick or something. Ding ding dong, ding ding, like a xylophone. You know xylophone? Xylophone are these little pieces of metal that are tuned in different pitches and notes, and they're flat like this. And you take sticks, ding 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 ding, like this. No? Xylophone. So these pots of water are like that, ding ding dong dong ding ding. Yeah. Now, more water pastimes. So this is udaka gata, the art of splashing water or storing water in kumbhas, cisterns or reservoirs. 14th art, kala. Chitra yoga. The art of trimming, decorating, and hanging pictures. The kunjas in Radhakund, outside the kunjas, there are pictures on the walls of the kunja, when you do parikrama of the kunjas. And those pictures are painted by Radharani or the Gopis, Chitrasakhi, other ones. And they hang them there in a very beautiful way, outside the walls of the kunja. And generally these leelas there are like demon-killing leelas or whatever, of Krishna. So Krishna comes and the Gopis, they go around the kunja and say, look at that, see, remember Agasura? Oh yeah. I really finished him off. So then Krishna he's very happy to go on a tour. Then inside the kunja they have pastimes more, just Radha and Krishna or some more intimate expressions to stimulate different types of intimate feelings. So the gopis are expert in how to trim these pictures. Like sometimes you see in India, they put cloth around the picture, and they put some decorative cloth. There's a photo or a painting, then they decorate it. And they're very expert at all these frills and thrills. So this origin of all these arts is Radharani. She's the emporium of all this kala emporium. This is 15th quality. Malya Ghatana Vikalp. Mala. The art of stringing necklaces, and weaving flower garlands for various uses. So these taking jewels and making jeweled necklaces, or taking flowers and making flower necklaces, taking seeds and making seed necklaces, gunja bija, that red and black berry, little tiny berry, stringing those in different artistic ways. I remember in Radhasham, Krishna Vana Mandir, they would get these gunjamala, called gunja seeds, gunjamala, and they would get thousands of pieces. They would tie them all together, like 10, 12, 15 feet long, so many individual pieces, because they would come in small pieces. Tie them all imperceptibly together, hundreds of pieces into one long gunjamala. Then they would braid them and make designs in them. I don't know how they did it. But at the end result, it would be put on sham, offered to sham. It would be in Radharani's hand, and she would offer it to sham. All designs like this, of these red and black berries, dried berries, gunja, and beautifully done. So that art of how to make these beautiful designs in flowers or seeds or gems, jewels, is perfected by Radharani. And you see Radharani's hand in the hand of the devotee. And a loving expression of a devotee attempting to serve his beloved Lord, that expression of love, that bhakti, is a touch of Radharani. And maybe an abhas, bhakti abhas, it's a reflection, it's a semblance of the Shuddha bhakti of Radharani. But her touch, before it to be bhakti, there must be a touch of Radha. Aradhanam. Vishnu Aradhanam. Krishna Aradhanam. We are Aradhikas. We are worshippers. Krishna Aradhanam. Aradhanam Upasakas. We are Krishna Aradhanam Upasakas. We're worshipping Krishna. So when you see the devotees, somehow they get inspired to make these very intricate and wonderful gunjamala necklaces or flower malas. That means some bhakti is coming there. Radharani is bringing some bhakti there in their hearts and minds, and giving that inspiration to serve her Sham, to serve her Krishna. Extraordinary things. Because what does it say in Gita? Te sham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. If one tries his best to serve Krishna, he gets inspiration, he gets ideas, how to make it better, how to do it better. Inspiration comes. And ultimately, when one comes to Priti Bhajan, comes to the level of prema, and he's worshipping Radha and Krishna in pure love, then Krishna sits in the mind. Krishna comes and sits in the mind. And the intelligence, go, do this, do that, do this, do that. He sits there. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I become connected. Your love brings me, your love, your submission, your surrender brings me into your heart, and I sit in your heart and mind. Now I'm guiding your heart and mind. Serve me like this, serve me like this. Oh, this is wonderful, this is wonderful. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna's dadami, giving the intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. 10th chapter of Gita, verse 10. So this is what happens. A devotee, Krishna comes and sits a little bit, gives an inspiration, and as one becomes more and more pure and higher on the spiritual advancement scale of ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema, then Krishna moves in the heart. Because Krishna is attracted by pure love. Karshan. Sri Krishna Sankarshani. This is a symptom of prema. So then all the expressions and services of kala, the artistic expressions, he who was a fool becomes a poet. He who was crippled becomes an Olympic winner. Road, track winner. He who was blind sees the stars in the sky. It's all by the presence of Guru and Krishna in the heart. So this is everyone's experience. Every devotee has that experience in percentages. So this is, Radharani is the source of this wonderful art of stringing necklaces and weaving flower garlands for various uses. So there's only, that's number 15. It's only 50 more. Shrimati Radha Rani ki jai. Kalavati Radha ki jai. Kalanidhi Sri Krishna ki jai. So reading about her Vaidagya nature, and reading about her 7 oceans, particularly Vaidagya Sindhu. And we were describing Radharani's 64 qualities, 64 arts, which all the gopis have. I have to imagine that Radharani has all these arts. She knows all these things perfectly. Dancing and painting the teeth with different designs, making music in water, cupping your hands and making... So we're going through these 64 arts to understand what do gopis do? They do so many things. They have so many services that they do. Vilapkusa Manjali and Sankalpa Kalpadruma, Utkalika Valari, Virupa Goswami, Stavavali Savamala. They describe so many services that Manjaris do for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. They do that, but how do they do that? They do all those specific services by expressing these 64 arts. The services are listed by Rupa Goswami and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There's 17 basic services of a Sakhi. 17 basic services. That's like Prahlad Maharaj says there's 9 basic forms of devotion. Shravana Kirtanam. But that means there's only 9 ways to serve Krishna. Someone says, I'm painting pictures of Radha and Krishna. That's not hearing. That's not chanting. That's not remembering. You're doing Archanam. You're doing Archanam. It's so much Smartam. You must be remembering the Lord so much while you're painting. And that painting, just as a Pujari decorates the deity with Shringar, the form, the Murti, Archa Vigraha, you're painting, you paint the naked body of Radha and Krishna, then you paint the clothes on top of that naked form, then you start painting the necklaces, and so what are you doing? You're doing Shringar, Chitra Murti. It's called Chitra. Chitra means painting. So this is Shringar, this is Archanam, worship. So like this, although it appears very narrow, limited, there's only 9, there's so many unlimited ways to serve Krishna. Someone's cooking for Krishna. That's Archanam, deity worship. But it's not just this means deity worship. Cooking for the deity is also deity worship. So gopis have 17 services that are mentioned there, carrying messages, bringing Radha and Krishna together, and so many things. But then there's so many subsequent services. In the rendering of all these services, these 64 arts, which they're all expert at, they will express those arts in the context of different services for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. So these 64 arts will be part of the repertoire. They will be part of the repertoire of every Sakhi and Manjari. You'll graduate from school. You'll know how to take blood pressure. You know how to take blood samples. You learn many things. But in a Sakhi school, in Bhoma Vrindavan, you go to Sakhi school, Manjari school. And all these things will be taught directly. Vishak will teach singing, and Lalita will teach this. They'll teach instruments. They'll teach all these things. Prabhupada once said a devotee should be expert at everything. You've heard this term? There's 26 qualities of a devotee, and one of them is Daksha. 26 qualities of Vaishnava. One is Daksha, means expert. A devotee is expert. Prabhupada is expert in cooking and kirtan and everything. Architecture, design, everything. So Manjaris are also expert. They have that quality. So these are number 16 art is Shekara Pira Yojan. This is the art of setting a crown upon the head. Well, that seems easy enough. You just take the crown. There it is. That's really quite an art, no? Isn't it? You had to go to school for years to learn this art of setting a crown on the head. It's not so easy. Because these crowns are made of flowers. Turbans. Setting a crown on the head, including turbans and top knots of flowers. Like Krishna's hair is curled up like this, like a top knot. So there's a way to do it. Do you do it counterclockwise, or do you do it from the bottom to the top? Do you start at the top of Krishna's top knot and go to the bottom? Or you start at the bottom and go to the top? Or you go down the sides? How do you do it? Do you know how to do it? If Krishna comes here with his top knot and says, okay, put flowers in it, you'll know? No. You just go... But then Radharani comes and she'll make flowers going down like this, and she'll make flowers going around like that, and so many different ways, because she knows the art. The art of setting a crown upon the head, including turbans and top knots of flowers. Nepatya Yoga. The art of putting on cosmetics in the dressing room for theatrical performances. You know that one. Nepatya Yoga. The art of putting on costumes. The art of putting on costumes in a dressing room for theatrical performances. So what is that theatrical performance? Is dancing a theatrical performance? And the curtains opens up and the stage is there and someone spinning and dancing. That's part of theater and drama. Dancing is one of the scenes. Theatrical performances. Costumes in the dressing room. Where's the dressing room? Where's the dressing room? Varsana. Yavat. Yes? And the theater. So who's dressing Radharani? Manjaris and Sakhis. Setting the ornaments, 12 ornaments and 16 embellishments, all these things. They have to know how to set. Because she's going out. It says in the Bhagavatam, when Krishna went to the Rasa dance, he appeared dressed like an actor on a dramatic stage. He appeared like an actor on a dramatic stage. Because it's a theatrical performance. So he has his dressers. So the gopi, and they're also the gopis. So Radharani, they're dressing the gopis. This art must be learned. Nepatya Yoga, art of putting on costumes in dressing room for theatrical performances. And that's not like dressing room Bollywood movie set. That's, you have this narrow kind of, there's a little thing there's a star above the door that says dressing room, Mr. B. And no one can go in there. It's a private dressing room for Mr. B. The dressing room is Radharani's bedroom. Or the dressing room can be in the kunjas at Madhyan Leela in Radhakund. After Radharani bathes in Radhakund, then she has to be dressed. She goes in with just a thin white bathing outfit and comes out. She doesn't just walk around like that all day. She has to go in the kunj and she gets dressed. So it can be formal dressing rooms in the palace, or it can be informal dressing rooms in the kunjas. 18. Karnapatra Bhanga. The art of decorating the earlobe with flower or leaf ornaments and painting ornamental figures. Karnapatra Bhanga. Karna's ear. You heard of Karna in the Mahabharata? Mani Karna. Decorating the earlobe. In other words, making earrings, flower earrings. Decorating the earlobe. And painting ornamental figures. Sugandha Yukti, 19. The art of preparing and applying aromatics and perfume cosmetics of various kinds. So this is Sugandhi, fragrant oils, how to prepare them. You don't just go down to the local, oil shop in Loy Bazaar and buy a bottle of rose oil. Or kadamba oil, or rue, what is it? Rue kus or rue gulab. The art of making them, aromatics and perfume cosmetics of various kinds. This includes sprinkling sandalwood pulp and water to produce a nice fragrance. It's described when Radharani is walking down a footpath. The manjaris are walking behind her, and they're carrying a small pot. And inside the pot is so much roses are there floating in the pot, and camphor. Camphor is there, and sandalwood. And the gopis have a leaf, like a banyan leaf. The manjaris have a banyan leaf, kind of broad leaf banyan leaf. And they're carrying like this, and they're throwing on a foot in front of Radharani. They're taking the water and they're throwing it in front as she's walking along the path to make it nice and fragrant and make the soil soft on her feet. So these are the art of throwing fragrant waters and this and that. You see when a king comes somewhere, they have some kind of instrument that they go like that. They throw rose water here and there. It's a standard. Thakurji goes on procession, you must have seen. Deities goes on procession, so someone's going in the front throwing flower petals, isn't it? Flower petals, the whole road is covered with flower petals. And then someone's going like this, with a small bottle type thing with a skinny neck on it. And they're sprinkling rose water, camphorated water, any kind of flower-scented water here and there. That's very nice. So that's an art, how to prepare those things, and the art of sprinkling includes that. Number 20, Bhushana Yojan. The art of beautifying the body and limbs with specialized types of ornaments and jewelry. 21, Indrajal. The art of presenting, Indrajala. The art of presenting stage music, illusions, and jugglery. No jugglery? We talked about that the other day. Throw one thing up and another. So the gopis, they do juggling to entertain Radharani. Presenting stage music, illusions, and jugglery. Radharani's expert at presenting illusions. She just winks at Krishna and becomes moha. He becomes full of illusion, covered with illusion. But it's a particular art. 22. Kochumara Yoga. Kochumara Yoga. The art of appearing in various disguises. Give me an example. Oh, because we're talking about the gopis. So Radharani so expertly disguised herself as Subal Saka that no one could tell. Not even. Both are right. Not even Jatila or Krishna. When Subal Radha came to Radhakund and sat next to Krishna, and he was so distressed. Oh, Subal, why didn't you bring my Swamini? What? Don't you know I'm about to die? I'm going to drown myself in these very waters that gave me so much bliss. I'll give up my life right here. Why couldn't you bring my Swamini? And then she said, yeah, you can go with Chandravali. Radharani's disguised as Subal. She said, there's so many Sakis. Chandravali's just down the road at Gauri Tirtha. Don't lament, don't give up your life. Why waste your youth? Why waste your youth? Hey, Subal, what are you saying? Nonsense. And of course, Krishna disguises himself in 20 different female disguises described in Gopal Champu. Sometimes he comes as a bangle merchant selling bangles. And he says, Radharani, try this bangle. And he puts it on her wrist. And he keeps holding her wrist like this. Then Lita Saki says, why is he holding my wrist? Why won't he let go of my wrist? Because the bangle would go like this. No, she said, oh, try this. It's very nice. And this is very nice. This is very nice. Would you tell this bangle merchant, this Kankan Wali, this Kangan Wali to let go of my wrist? Then Krishna comes disguised as a fruit wali, female fruit wala. I like this and like that. So, this is an art that Krishna knows and the gopis know. Actually, who did Krishna learn from? Radharani. So he learned how to disguise himself as a girl from Radharani. Sometimes Radharani disguises herself as Krishna also. In the Kunja, they exchange identities, and she fully disguises herself as Krishna, and Krishna becomes Radha. And then in Madhyan Leela, then the gopis come in. Well, actually, Krishna is as Radha, and Radha is as Radha. Sometimes they take Radhas, both are Radha and both are Krishna. So the gopis come in and say, oh, usually it's Krishna. Radha's become Krishna and Krishna's Krishna. But Krishna imitates Radharani's voice. And he said, oh, what happened there? We left then, there was Swami and Swamini here in the Kunja, but now there's two Krishnas. What did he do? What did he do with my Swamini? And then Krishna speaks, oh, actually, he did some tantra on me. He laid me down and he chanted some mantras all over my body, and he touched all parts of my body, and I became blue and I became Krishna. But he didn't touch my neck. So that's why I'm able to speak. Because this Krishna was disguised as Krishna, was Krishna imitating Radharani's voice. So then they said, well, that came out, anyway, I forget how it goes, but it's like, they're both like this, dressed like this, and the gopis are confused. Which one is Krishna? And then they mistakenly think that, that Krishna, they say, this bogus Krishna. And then they drive him out. You look what you've done to our Swami. You get out of this kunj. So the gopis, they drive out Radharani from the kunj, who's disguised as Krishna. Then they say, Radharani, will you tell us everything happened? And he said, I can only tell you one at a time. I can only tell one saki at a time. So all of you go out, one come in and I'll tell you I'll show you exactly what he did to me. Exactly what happened, what he did to me, why I turned into Krishna. But you have to promise me. Then one saki would come in. So then Krishna would do all these things with his Krishna disguised as Radharani would have all these intimate pastimes and love dalliance with the gopis one by one, Alita Vishaka, etc. So then when they were leaving, he said, listen, you have to promise me you don't tell the other one. It's like the one-man circus. You know that story, the one-man circus? Dong. 5 rupees, dong. So each gopi got beaten and everyone was quiet. So that art we have to know. How to disguise themselves. So tomorrow, we don't know who's going to give class. Somebody may disguise themselves. If you learn this art tonight, you have a crash course in this art. So that's the art of appearing in different disguises. 23. Hasta means hot. Hasta lagava. The art of sleight of hand. Do you know what that is? What is sleight of hand? Do you know? S-L-E-I-G-H-T. What is sleight of hand? It's kind of like jadoo. It's kind of like a magic trick. You see these three apples, and you're watching. Yes, I see the 3 apples. Now watch very closely. Say, look, watch out. Where'd the other apple go? I don't know. Let's just watch. See? Acha. There were 3 apples and you made one disappear. Now there's 2 apples. This is sleight of hand. Very fast. So the gopis, when do the gopis use this? Krishna, it's like this. They're talking to Krishna. Krishna, when he's intimately with the gopis, or he's dancing, his flute sometimes is tucked in his waist belt. So he's dancing with them, and they're speaking like this. Krishna, it's like this, and and they're speaking like this with their hands, and they reach their hand down, they pull the flute out from his dhoti, and they pass it, Radharani passes it to Lalita. Then later on, when he discovers, hey, my flute is missing, what happened? I said, we don't know. What happened? Maybe you dropped it when you were with Chandravali. And then one monkey comes and says, that's right. This monkey was sent by Brinda Devi. The monkey comes and says, Krishna, why are you falsely accusing the gopis of Vamshi Chori? They didn't steal your flute. Actually, tell the truth, Krishna, I'm a witness. The monkey said, And the monkey witness. And then Krishna says, who the hell are you? Where you come from? So the monkey said, then Lalita says, spill the beans, speak up. What do you say? I was just in Gauri Tirtha, ripping off some bananas. The monkey, right? The monkey. And I saw Krishna sneak in there, tiptoe into Gauri Kunj. And then, while he was there with Chandravali, he forgot everything. He forgot everything. Mantan, Dan, some Bulgaya. He forgot everything. And then at that time, Shaibya snuck up behind and took his flute. Shaibya's got the flute? Acha? And the monkey jumped away. Toom. So this sleight of hand is very much used by the gopis. It's very practical art. Vamshi Chori in so many instances. And this is this one. Everyone will like this one, especially the ladies, I suppose, or men also. Chitra Shak Apupa, Chitra Shak Apupa Bhakshya Vikara Kriya. The art of preparing varieties of salad, bread, cake, and delicious foods. So, better learn how to cook. If not now, later. Chitra Shak Apupa. Apupa is a cake. And shak means spinach, salad, greens. Apupa is apupa is a type of cake. Bhakshya means eating. Vikara, varieties of kriya, doing. Making vikara, varieties. Vikara means transformation. Vikara, sattvic vikara. So making vikara, different transformations of food and salad, bread, cake, and delicious food. Hungry? Cakes. That's 24. Now 25. Panaka rasa ragasava yojan. I was mentioning this earlier. Asava. Remember Arishta and Asava? These Ayurvedic wines they sell in the medicine shops are called Drakshasava, Kumari Asava, Saraswat Rishta. Oh, you're stupid. Take the Saraswat Rishta. Take 2 teaspoons after your meals. You'll be like Saraswati in no time. Saraswat Rishta, they have all these brain tonics and Kumari Asava is for women. Kumari Asava is fermented fruits and vegetables. Drakshasava, Dasamal Rishta, 10 roots that they ferment with water and it's a wine, it's alcohol. So the gopis are expert at making moonshine. So this is Panaka Rasa Ragasava Yojan, the art of preparing nectar drinks and tinging draughts with red color. So Asava, Panaka Ras means, of course, Ras, drinks, Panaka means you drink. Nectar drinks, and Rag means color, Rag Asava. And the tinging those with a red color. But Asava also means a wine. I don't know if that's mentioned separately. That's one of the 64 arts. It may come under this one. And it would have to be included in this one because there's no separate mention of a similar art of winemaking or etc. It's called Madhupan, Kadambari Madhupan. So they're expert at preparing nectar drinks with fruits and whatnot. And sometimes they take those nectar drinks and they keep them for a few days. Today it's apple juice. And a few weeks later it's wine. It's apple wine. The sattva becomes tama. The apple juice is sattvic. And you let it sit around in the open air. Just let the water there, add some water. Let it sit in the open air. The natural bacteria from the air will fall in the apple juice and form fermentation. And that will become a type of wine. So they know this art of preparing honey wine and wine from kadamba flowers and flower wine. There's flower wines and fruit wines and so many type of wines. And then coloring them with different colors. Just like basically whiskey is just colored alcohol. Something called whiskey, everyone's heard of whiskey. It's kind of brown in color. There's coloring in there. Because alcohol is clear. Like gin, vodka is clear. So this whiskey... They put some coloring in there, caramel or something to color it. Yeah. So and then it's a different process, teaching this, that. It goes like that. So some people know how to make cakes and salads. And some gopis are more expert at making ragasavas. Suchivaya karma. Suchivaya karma, the art of needleworks, weaving, embroidery, and tailoring. So the gopis are expert at the art of with the needle, sewing different things, weaving, making embroidery, and tailoring. They make Radharani's clothes. And the mandris make the Sakhi's clothes. And then the Sakhis give the prasadi, or Radharani gives the prasadi, her remnants of Radharani's. Her kancholi or her sari is given to the manjaris. Because we always want prasad. Even in the temples in Vrindavan, you see that the Goswamis, it used to be the standard, that if they wanted to offer a sari to their wife, or wear a new dhoti, or new cloth, dhoti especially, or chadar, dhoti, or sari, even contrarily, they would first offer to their deity. Because the Vaishnava consciousness is that they only want to take prasad from higher source. I know some devotees that they come and even ask sometimes, they say, do you have any old chadar? Do you have any old shoulder bag? And I said, why? He said, I want the prasad, I want to have cloth from a devotee. And then he showed me, he had the shoulder bag, or what do you call it, joli, like shoulder bag? That was his guru's shoulder bag. I don't know who made the original one, but maybe his guru was a new one. And then it was patched up all over the place. And he said, this is so powerful, so special. This is the prasadi vastra of my guru and parampara. So we see in these temples, I stayed in Dhira Damodara for 3 years, and I was direct witness to this, that I would see Radharani in a new sari, dressed in a new sari, and next day or so later, the wife was wearing the sari. Because this is very nice bhav, that first, and then let the deity, first everything should be offered to the deity. I even know some devotees, they're so much deeply ensconced in this bhav, deeply entrenched in this bhav, that everything that contacts me must be prasad. This may be an extreme example, you may consider it. But the bhav is what's attractive. And this particular person is extremely advanced Vaishnavi devotee, Indian Vaishnavi, lives in Vrindavan. And I was told by her lady followers, I don't know her so intimately, of course, but if she gets soap, she first puts tulsi on, and she takes a little bit of the deity's cloth when she's bathing the deities. She takes a little soap and she rubs this soap on the deities, just a little bit. So it's prasadi soap. She gets a toothbrush, she puts it in front of the altar, offers it to the deity first. Prasadi toothbrush. Because manjaris do the same thing. They use Radharani's old toothbrush, or dant, or twig. Radharani uses it and chucks it in the manjaris. Oh, they take it. Great prasad. And then, so this is how can I accept how can I be the direct recipient of anything? How can I directly receive into my hands or for my use anything is not first dedicated to the center, offered to the center? Very high state of pure devotion and bhav. It's not that we go around. It comes naturally. You don't read this in a book. Offer your toothpaste. Offer your soap. But we do hear you should offer everything to Krishna. And we do hear that everything should be prasadi. So in that realm, in the spiritual realm, it's going on like that. The manjaris wear prasadi vastra of Radharani and the other Sakhis. And they take the remnants of Radharani, the cloth, the remnants. The oils are used by Radharani, they get the remnants. The tambul of Radharani, they get the tambul. The toothbrush, they get the toothbrush. So everything there on that level of the manjaris, especially in the Sakhis, everything is prasad of Radharani or Krishna. (27) Sutra Krida, the art of manipulating puppets with strings. Marionette, whatever they call them. You know? Take a puppet with strings like Kutputli. Kutputli. Like this, and then the leg goes up, pull this, and the leg goes up, and the arm goes up. So the gopis are expert at this. How they use it and when they use it, that I haven't realized. The art of manipulating puppets with strings. I guess the main puppet that they manipulate is Krishna. And the strings are their love, because we hear in the Bhagavatam, Rasa Panchadaya, in the second verse, or maybe fourth verse of chapter 29, that Krishna has also learned this art from Radharani. Radharani is the guru, Prem Guru, Ami Shishya, not. Ami Shishya not, Krishna says. My guru, Tamara Guru Radha, Radhika, Ami Shishya not. I am a dancing pupil. So Radharani knows his art of manipulating puppets with strings. Krishna learned it from her. Now that he learned it, he decided, this Sharad Purnima is a very good night for practicing my art of puppet control. So then he played his flute, his vamshi. And when that flute sound entered their hearts, it acted like the strings on a puppeteer controlling a puppet. Krishna is telling. That flute sound entered their ears. The flute went out there, from Vamshivat all the way to Varsana or Yavat. And then the strings, the sounds of that flute started moving their legs and arms, just like a person you don't see him, you just see the puppet. His hand is above the curtain. And the children just see the guy dancing like this. So the gopis were the puppets, and the strings controlling the gopis is Krishna's flute song. Radhika, Lalita, Vishaka, Ao, Jaldi Ao, come quickly. And so they're running down a footpath like puppets. So this is an example of this art of let's say, gopis controlling Krishna with the strings of their love. And I never read anything about Radharani using puppets directly, as we would know it. 28. Vina Damaruka Bhadya. Damaru. The art of playing the veena. Narada Muni Bhajana Veena. Radhika Ramana Name. And you know Damaru? What does Lord Shiva play? You see on his trishun, he has this tied usually on the top. He has a damaru because all that's together. Because this means the three modes of nature, which means the material world. And when it's time for destruction, there's no more. The three modes are finished. So he ties the damaru. You must have seen posters. You see the trishun? What's tied on it? An X-shaped drum. It goes like this, right? It goes like this and like that. X. This is X, right? The drum is here. So it goes like... So he picks up... He says, time for pralaya. He starts shaking and dancing. He's dancing with this thing. And as he's dancing, then the whole material universe is destroyed. You see they sell in the market sometimes. Little plastic ones with little beads on it. Kids buy them. Yeah? So the gopis are expert at playing that. I've never seen paintings of that or heard descriptions, but I guess they play that and destroy Krishna's peace of mind. 29. Prahelika. Praheli. The art of making and solving riddles. So this is very common. You see in the Govinda Lilamrita, there's whole leelas where the gopis speak in riddles and Krishna always gets defeated in speaking riddles. He knocks on Radharani's door. Says, who is that? And then he says, it's Hari. And she replies, it's Hari, come out. And Radharani replies, I was warned that there's a lion in this forest. Hari means lion. I was warned that there is a lion prowling in this forest. I will definitely not come out. And he says, no, it's not Hari, it's not a lion, it's the wielder of the chakra, Hari Chakra. Chakra? That's the time factor. I don't have any time for like this. It goes. They have these dialogues you see in the Govinda Lilamrita, and every time they have dialogues, Krishna always gets bewildered and confused because Radharani is so much buddhiman, so intelligent. Supanditya. We heard earlier. She's rasa krita supanditya. So now this is number 29a. There's an addendum here. There's two parts. Prahelika and Pratimala. The art of reciting verse for verse as a trial for memory or skill. So the gopis also have their verse books. They also have their index cards with verses written on them. And they're practicing and memorizing them. Verses. Or maybe some expertly composed chastisement. Verses of chastisement to rebuke Krishna when he misbehaves or disappoints them. So they're practicing art of reciting verse for verse as a trial for memory or skill. If one is having difficulty remembering verses, then he can pray to the gopis. Oh, you're an expert at memorizing verses. Please bless me. Because what are your verses about? Uttama Shloka Sri Krishna. Your verses are only glorifying Uttama Shloka. What is the Venu Gita? Venu Gita is the Bhagavatam, chapter 21. It's the gopis' verses glorifying Krishna. What is Gopi Gita? Gopi Gita is chapter 31, 10th canto. The gopis' verses glorifying Uttama Shloka Krishna. So they have to practice. So they line by line they go check. Oh, what's his verse? And they go back and Tavaka Tamritam Tata Jivanam. Okay. Now when we meet him, now just you tell him this verse. Yes. 30. Durva Chaka Yoga. Durva Chaka. Durva Chaka Yoga. The art of skillfully uttering tongue twisters that are difficult for others to repeat. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. 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 In America, this is some kind of thing to tie up your tongue. Like in the morning, we're chanting these astakams, and our tongues get all tied up. No, this Malini meter, Malini chandas, and whatever. Sometimes our tongues get. I mean, if we're not Brahmins, if we're Brahmins, then we have some gifted tongues. This Brahmin tongue they have, but most of us are Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Born as Shudras, so. But the gopis are expert at skillfully uttering tongue twisters that are difficult for others to repeat. Who is that other? Krishna. When it comes to speech, Krishna always loses. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha? No chance. Sri Gopi Vacha, Radhika Vacha. Because speaking requires some intelligence. And to speak tongue twisters and riddles requires lots of intelligence. And that's where Krishna falls short. He can't quite match the gopis in tongue twisters or riddles. So in these particular games they play, Krishna always loses. But when he plays power games, like water splashing, sometimes he loses. Most of the time he wins. When our manjaris are writing the pastimes, like Krishna's Kaviraj, they say that Krishna loses. Because the angle of vision of the manjaris is that Krishna always loses. Vrindavaneshri Radharani ki jai. But it's also described. So in these power games. But when it comes to playing dice, he loses. Because dice, it's not dice, it's like bridge. Moving the pieces certain place. You're throwing dice, get a number, and you move your piece like this, Pashakela. So it's not just, you have to have great powers of intelligence. Oh, Krishna loses that game. So, these intellectual games, he's not so good. Sometimes they wrestle, then Krishna wins. Naturally. And love battles, Krishna wins. Most of the time. Sometimes he goes ananga. He loses his anga. Goes unconscious. That's when Radharani is really in a retaliating mood. Text 31. Pushtak. Everyone, Hindi people know that. Pushtak. Pushtak Bandar. Pushtak Vachana, the art of clearly and quickly reading and reciting books, including techniques of chanting and intoning. So this is Pushtak Vachan. So they're quickly, they can do speed reading. Speed read the books. Whatever is useful for their service. Right? We study books that are useful for our service. If we're cooking for the deity, then we'll study cookbooks to learn different types of recipes. If we're making clothes, then we'll study books on design and fashion to get up with different designs. The gopis have their particular sevas, so they might study appropriate Vedic literature to more perfectly know that science. So Radharani is expert in all these things. Who does she study with? Who did Radharani learn these arts from? Who did Radharani learn these 32 arts from? 31 arts? No. She is Swayam Vidya. She knows all these arts automatically. That's why Krishna has to learn from her. They're self-manifested in the form of Radharani. She's a personification, a perfection, the origin of all these 64 arts. Then she trains Parampara, Lalita Vishaka like this. This we should keep in mind. I think that's it. Then 32. Natik, Akyayika, Natik Akyayika Darshan. The art of enacting short plays and anecdotes. Haribo. This is an art of enacting short plays and anecdotes. So we have some of these type of gopis in our sangha and know this Nati Akyayika Darshan, the art of enacting short plays and anecdotes. So we'll start with 33 tomorrow. So this is, it's only 64. Tomorrow we'll probably finish and go on with describing the 7 oceans of Radharani's form. Radharasuranidhi ki jai. This is Radharani's, she's perfect in all these arts, which she uses to express her love and to Krishna, and to satisfy and to please and entertain and Krishna, to fill his heart with pleasure, peace, joy, and charm. So she's mastered all these 64 arts, Srimati Radharani. She's also trained her Sakhi Mandris in these 64 arts so they can also attempt to please Krishna and assist her in her pleasing of Krishna with the expression of these 64 arts. 33. Kavya Samasya Puran. Srimati Radhika is expert in the art of completing verses, finishing poetic verses after hearing only 3 lines. So this is an art. Someone speaks 3 lines of a verse, Sanskrit verse, she can instantly understand the meter and the intention of what's intended to be said, and the rhythm and the flow of that, and she can add the appropriate 4th line to that pada. Pada means a poem, charpada, 4 lines of the poem. So when the Sakhis sit together, and they often glorify Krishna with poetry, they speak to each other. And Lalita may say something, Krishna is like this and this, and she says, oh, and then she interjects, and this. And then Lalita says, how did you know? I was going to say the same thing. And the mandris are so much tadatmika with Radharani, they're also thinking, Radharani is going to say this. And then she says exactly what they're feeling and thinking. So this is Kavya Samasya Puran. But not only that, this art includes more. It includes solving crossword puzzles. You ever get the newspaper? Why? Or did you ever get the newspaper? in days of Maya. They have crossword puzzles, you know? This. So they have crossword puzzles in the spiritual world. The Varsana daily newspaper. You saw? There's comic strips there. Madhamangal is writing the comic strips. And then Tungavidya is making the puzzles, the crosswords. Solving crosswords and various puzzles. This particular art is usually played, this crosswords and puzzles, is usually played at the risk of losing a stake or paying a penalty. 34. Patika Vetra Ban Vikalp. The art of manufacturing armaments, such as shields, staffs, bows, and arrows. So the gopis know how to make arrows. Arrow maker. They know how to make shields. Of course, sometimes these aspects of Radharani are described in various rasic ways. What is Radharani's actual shield, and what is her staff and her bow and her arrows, and her rasa-filled form. But nevertheless, even externally, apparently in this world that we can see, they also know this art of manufacturing armaments. Of course, it's told by Krishnadas Kaviraj that the whole body of Radharani is actually equipped with armor. Her fingernails are 10 elephant goads. A goad is an instrument like this, and it curves like that, and you control the elephant. You sit on the elephant, it's only about 18, 20 inches long. It's an iron rod. It goes like this, then it goes like that. Has a point, little bit of point on the end. And then the Mahot, the elephant trainer, he rides the elephant, and the elephant wants to control the elephant. He puts it behind his ear. It's a very tender spot, even in the human body. Back here, you know. So the driver of the elephant, he hooks the elephant behind the ear and pulls him. Turn right, left, this, that. So it's explaining that Radharani's fingernails are like elephant goads, ankush. And they're used to control the mad elephant named Krishna. So this is she's already equipped with arrows and ankush and all types of things. 35. Tarku Karma. This is the art of making thread with a spinning wheel. So they got some cotton, like Gandhi, all the spinning wheels and all these things. Gandhi, Gramyo. So they get the raw cotton from the fields, and you put it on this mechanism, spinning wheel, and you turn the cotton, and some kind of thread comes out. Have you ever seen? You seen? I've seen. And then it's hand propelled. You turn it with your hand. So they make thread. So the gopis make thread. And then what do they do with that thread? They make turbans for Sham. Why else? And maybe the Manjaris, they make clothes for Radharani, the Sakhis. But this is Radharani's art. She's not going to use her talents to serve herself, is she? These are premakala. These are artful expressions of love. So she's learning this. Oh, I want to make a new choli. Oh, it looks so good. I sewed it myself. She doesn't have that idea. She thinks, oh, I want to make a nice silk turban for my Sham. Tarku Karma. Tarku. 36. Takshana. The art of cutting wood and carpentry. So it means cutting wood means you don't go to the lumber store. This is a 5,000 years ago. There's no lumber yard. You go, give me a 2x4, give me a piece of 4x8 piece of plywood. I
Girigovardhana 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 Prabhupada Krishna Bhakti Dhira Damodara Krishna Prasara Bhutale Bhakti Dhira Swami Namaste Saraswati Puravana Putarine Nebreshasha Sonagari Yastakari Sadarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Puravani Prasarine Devesha Tunyagari Yastakya Disabhati Dasya Krishna Chaitanya Sabani Chananda Shriya Jaita Vedadara Shri Swami Gora Bhakta Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ bottle. Students say it is existing houses today. They are going honeymoon. Happy honeymoon.
Yeah, last name. exercise.
Yes.
You could try this.
Bhakata Shri Gaura Hari Shri Goswami Hari Shri Gaura Hari Shri Goswami Hari
Thank you very much. Haribol. So nice. See you later. Thank you.